Good afternoon, Toastmaster and fellow Toastmasters. Marie Curie, the famous physicist, once said, "Nothing in life is to be feared." It's a little more complex than that. Fear has been with us for a lot longer than we may realize. Fear is a primal emotion. Today, I will talk about certain aspects of fear, and we will revisit this statement at the end. Fear, as I said, is a primal emotion. No matter how hard you try, there is no escaping it. Let's take a peek into our brains. Right there in the center, there is a bunch of tiny nuclei, about less than the size of a pea, called the amygdalae. These are known to play a pivotal role in processing of emotions. So is this the cause or the effect? Let us see. Many of us believe that fears are developed from our own experiences and from our upbringing. Storybooks taught us to be scared of darkness, of loud sounds. Grandmom's stories taught me to be scared of the boogeyman. I got mugged, and now I'm so scared to go out by myself. If only all these people hadn't interfered and messed with my brain, I would have been a fearless person today. Is that really so? Let me tell you about this experiment that will shed some light on this concept. About 23 years ago, right here in Wisconsin, a couple of scientists were trying to understand phobias, and they conducted a few experiments. Their subjects were a group of rhesus monkeys. No ordinary monkeys. These were born and reared in the lab. They had never seen the world outside of a lab. They divided the monkeys into two groups. The first group of monkeys was shown videos in which monkeys were terrified of snakes. The second group of monkeys was shown videos in which monkeys were terrified of flowers. But after about 12 sessions of viewing for both sets of monkeys, both groups must have developed fears, right? No. The first group was terrified of snakes, even plastic ones. The second group didn't show any fear. It wasn't scared of flowers. What happened here? What did they conclude? The second group of monkeys did not show any fear of flowers because flowers were never threats. Think about it. Flowers were never threats to their ancestors. They realized that they could not condition these monkeys to be scared of things that were not real threats, like flowers. Conversely, they could not decondition the monkeys to not be scared of real threats like snakes. I will tell you about the second experiment, which shows apparently contradictory results. Remember amygdalae, that tiny bunch in the brain that is responsible for processing of emotions? We'll get to that. You have seen rats scurrying away from cats, right? They know what their predators look like. These scientists played a little. They exposed rats to a strain of parasites. As a result, cysts were formed on these amygdalae. These rats were no longer scared of cats. In fact, they went looking for cats. You can imagine what followed next. But isn't it amazing? They found that this was the source of fear. Fear is not only on the outside, but the inside. Why did I talk about these two experiments? There are a lot of experiments and interesting theories. These two experiments approach the subject of fear from the opposite ends, from the outside as well as the inside. In the experiment on monkeys, they tried to condition and decondition fears from the outside. In the experiment on the rats, they played physically from the inside to condition and decondition fears. Clearly, the source of fear is not just outside, but also on the inside. In some sense, this is like hardware and software. You can change some functionalities with your software, but can you change the base functionality without touching the hardware? Is it even possible? Fear cannot be escaped. Think about it. As I mentioned, these two experiments approach from the two opposites of the spectrum. Scientists are still trying to understand this concept of fear deeper. Can fears be controlled? Or if they should be controlled at all? In many cases, it is better not to control your fears. The fear of darkness was useful for primates. It is useful for us. We don't have sharp eyes. Nothing in life is to be feared. Let me complete the second half of her quote. Nothing in life is to be feared. It is only to be understood. Toastmaster.
Thank you, Maithili, powerful speech. I would give